Yes, man. Cramp paralyzed weak heart conception. Open the border, open the border, open the border, a Jaja rule on ya. Open the border, open the border, open the border, a Jaja rule on ya. Stop the slavery a go on in a Libya. Just because man want cross the border. You wanna fuck with brother and sister and sell them to the Arab slave master. Chain them up and lock them up and rape off with data. This is abomination in the eyes of your Allah. Bonafire upon slavery in Arabia. Bonafire upon slavery in
Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Open Borders. Joining me today are Jackson from Australia and the Fax Man. Fax?
What is up, boys? What is up? Happy to be here.
Oh, we're thrilled.
Oh, man.
Also, I just want to point out, I think about this every time. The intro to this show is awesome, and the show itself is terrible.
You know what I like as well is I think we're 2 weeks now in a row of just totally cucking 3 up, 3 down. So I think what we'll do is we'll find out who the guest is next week, and then we'll have them on.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah, because I mean that would work perfectly. You know, get them warmed up.
When are you recording that?
Tomorrow we're recording that, and then I got to get my list together. I don't even really know.
Kane gonna be on?
Yeah.
Nice. He's good. We like him.
We love Kane, don't we, Luke?
He's really talented.
Oh my god. You know, as far as I've seen it, I kind of knew going throughout all of the shows and like joining into this network that there were going to be people who are like, man, this guy sucks. And then so many of them turned around, and then like Kane was one of them. He's like, you know what? This guy's not bad. Do you want to come on the show? I'm like, yeah, dude, sure. Like, I'm not going to be like, no, fuck you, because you said that one thing about me on the internet one time. It's like, nah, man, I'm just here to have a good time. I'll fucking shoot the shit with anybody.
That's a shot at Luke, by the way, because he's a sensitive pussy on Twitter.
I hold grudges.
Everybody hates you, Luke. What's the go with that?
Yeah, Luke, what the hell?
It's all right. Beethoven had his critics too.
I think you're the second most hated Minifan.
After Ocella, right?
Yeah, correct.
He's number one. That guy was. I got up and there was just like 8 messages from him in my DMs. Like, and we're not friends, so they're follow request messages. Oh my God. So I click it and he's just it's like, wake up, pussy. It was pretty funny. I hit the delete button instead of the because I didn't want to accept it. So they're all gone now. I shouldn't have done that. They were kind of funny.
Fantastic.
There's something actually the matter with that kid.
Well, maybe he was just trying to motivate you. You know, wake up, pussy. Let's get this bread. Maybe that was the next message.
I'm getting Columbine vibes there. I might want to stop messing with him. I'm way too open about my location and my name and everything. If people wanted to take me out, they could. So
you got Ted Sarandon. So did he put you number 1 worst on the channel, or was it?
No, I thought it was number 4. Oh, that was Facts.
Yeah, I was number 1. I was the worst one in the eyes of
you're
Ted
number
Sarandon. Yeah. I mean,
congratulations, by the way.
I was gonna say, what an accomplishment! You know, within a month of debuting onto the network, I'm already the number 1 worst Minifan. That's actually like pretty exciting. I got a little giddy seeing that. Got a notification. I was like, oh, what's this about? And then some guy who I've heard of like twice was like, this guy is ruined the Minifan network single-handedly. And I was like, okay, all right.
Well, that's on its own like a stupid statement, because he also said that I ruined the Minifan network. So neither one of us did it single-handedly.
Which one was
a team effort?
Yeah. Well,
I think with you, Fax, I think it's simply because you're a new guy. He's an old school WEI guy.
That's what happens, especially like with this network / Minifandom in general. People seem to be very territorial, and they're like, you're not allowed to like the show too. They're like, what's Kirk's fucking 3rd grade teacher's name? And I'm like, well, I don't want to fuck him. I just want to listen to the show. Like, it's not that deep, guys. I just like the dude because he's funny. Like, You know, they really
Absolutely.
take it to the next level. But
I used to really enjoy your calls.
yeah, I didn't even realize that they had stopped because I had started calling originally because I had my second kid and I was on leave. So I wasn't doing anything and I was bored. And Surviving Barstool happened where I saw Kirk and I was like, this guy's fucking hilarious. I need to watch this show like now. And then he had calls and I was sitting there up in my office and I was like, I'm just going to call in and see what happens. And then it worked. And then I was like, all right, everyone seems to have some sort of bit they do. So let me make up something. And I was like, oh, that's easy. My name's Fact. So I should make up a fact that I truly believe in. And
I don't
then
even remember like any of them, but they all made me laugh. I just remember liking them.
I think I was going to say I have 2 per Jackson's request.
Oh,
and
nice.
Then I remember one of them that I called in. I think one of them that I said when I called in was, if you have to try to convince people constantly that you're funny, you're probably not very funny. And that goes the same for like intelligence, kindness. You can literally put any like descriptive word of a personality in there, and if you have to convince somebody that you are that, you aren't that. So
spitting facts.
Yeah. But yeah, the ones that I do have for today, I got 2, and
This is exciting.
one of them was inspired by a trip to the store today. But the first one is 99% of people you meet or interact with are not really about it like they say they are. I've met so many people in my life who are like, oh, I'm going to kick this guy's ass. Or sometimes it's like, oh, I'm going to kick your ass. And then it's like, all right, let's party. Let's go. And then nothing happens. And it's just like, oh, okay. So really, can I just like say whatever I want? Are there no rules? I start like just saying whatever the fuck I want and nothing happens. And I'm like, yeah, because no one's going to do anything. They're just going to keep telling me they are.
You know what this kind of sounds like? This kind of sounds like a Seinfeld bit.
I was thinking of the Curb where Larry has Asperger's and he's like not making eye contact with people and just saying whatever he wants to. That's pretty funny. Are you a bigger guy?
Huh?
Are you like a tall guy, bigger guy?
No.
Nope. Oh, nice.
No, I'm short. I am 5'7", like 150. I'm a short dude, but it's just like there's just no consequences because like even if it's a tall dude and he's like bigger than you, intimidating, whatever, he's just like, what are you gonna do, man? Hit me? Like, what's that gonna prove? Like,
so have you got like that small dog energy then? Like, are you trying to go at people all the time?
No. I don't like go at people. It's just more of like if I see bullshit, I just call it out. It's not really like I'm not looking for a fight because I feel like that's a waste of time and it's not really like something you should be doing as like a full-grown adult. You know, you're not proving anything to anyone if you're like going up to them and being like, hey buddy, look how tough I am, you want to scrap right now? It's like, okay, well, I've been punched before and it fucking hurts, so I don't really feel like getting punched, so no, I don't want to fight.
You're a military man, so you're just trying to keep order.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just keep the peace. You know, let's not take this further than it needs to go. I just said how I feel and you can take it as you want. Like if someone came up to me and said, hey, I think you're a dumb little bitch, it's like, that's a subjective term. I totally could be in your eyes. Like, sure, man.
Sounds like that's happened.
Yeah. I mean, once or twice. It's just like, what are you going to do about it? I can't change your opinion, dude. Like, have fun with that.
That was great. I enjoyed that.
All right. And then the second fact. This one is close to my heart because I saw it twice today and it fucking pissed me off. But putting your hazards on in front of a grocery store doesn't suddenly make you right or okay. You're just an asshole. Like, don't fucking sit there, dude. You put on your hazards like, hey, I'm waiting, but then it's been 10 minutes and you're still just chilling there. You don't have an excuse. Fuck you. Get out of the way.
100%. It's
trying
like
to
double
drive.
parking.
Yeah.
But I have my hazards on, so it's okay.
Yeah. No. Like, hazards is not just an excuse.
There's a road I go down every day where you're allowed to park. It's a one-way road, but you know it's a residential. You're allowed to park on the left-hand side of the road, and Jackson, flip it around in your head, and it would make sense for you. But there's this one fucking prick that always parks on the right-hand side, and like he just throws his hazards on. I don't know if he's visiting somebody, but he goes in there. He's probably helping like an old lady or something, and he's like got his car as close as possible to the door. But I literally every time, because I have to like kind of like go really slow and like just barely maneuver my car through there, so I just slam on my horn.
I was gonna say, yeah, do you hammer the horn?
Oh yeah, and I've got the little stupid Toyota, so it's got like the lamest horn ever.
Oh, that's all right.
It's a super unintimidating horn.
I got Toyotas too. They're not as like aggressive as you want them to be. It's just like, and you're just like, oh, okay, well, I'm a pussy now. I'm gonna go park. Yeah. Just like that's not.
And like I said, as I was saying, that occurred to me. It's probably like a blind, disabled child that like they're helping into the house, and that's why they're parked that close.
Hey, well, the blind disabled child isn't driving the car, so just fucking park in the driveway. Let's, I don't want to hear that excuse. Just go in a fucking driveway or go in a parking spot. They make handicap spots.
It's kind of wild. A lot of people don't have driveways around here because it's old city.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true.
What do they have?
They just don't.
It's just like a sidewalk or something to the front door, and then it's just road.
Yeah, it's like your classic city block, perfect city block with sidewalk and houses. But yeah, a lot of houses don't have driveways because they were built in like early 1900s. So really brick roads.
Brick roads. Oh shit!
I like a nice brick road. Brick roads are cheaper to maintain.
Oh yeah, you just pull one. They
like to come in and they put cement over the bricks, and it doesn't work right, so you get potholes constantly. You end up spending more money than you would have if you just replaced the bricks. Brick road lasts 100 years.
And West Virginia is full of money.
That's right, we're loaded. I was gonna say, happy birthday, 161st birthday to the state of West Virginia.
Wow.
As you all probably know, West Virginia is separated from Virginia during the Civil War, joined the Union.
Yeah, it's west of Virginia, I think.
It's west of Virginia. That
makes sense.
Right, cool. I just wanted to make sure I got my geography right.
And Marshall is older than West Virginia. Marshall was founded in 1837. West Virginia was founded in 1863, I want to say. Or 61 or 63, one of the two. So happy birthday, West Virginia.
So the clear state school then is WVU.
WVU is a newer school, but yeah, it's the flagship like state Grant University.
The big brother.
Go fuck yourself. Not in soccer.
What is it? That new stadium.
Mountaineers.
One a cool little fact about state schools though. In Ohio, Ohio State is newer than both Miami and Ohio University. Those two were like fighting to be the land grant university, and then the state just made a new one in Columbus, and that was Ohio State. So,
hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's kind of like how FSU and like University of Southern Florida, they all think like they're like the number one, but it's like Gainesville, the Gators. Everyone knows the Florida Gators. It's like
South Florida stinks.
Oh my god!
I put Central Florida ahead of South Florida.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I hate Central Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall beat UCF the first 3 times we played, and then they beat us the next like 12 times that we played after that. Just couldn't get them. They kicked shit out of us too.
UCF was a powerhouse for, what was it, that one year? Didn't they win? They won everything.
Scott Frost.
Yeah.
What was that?
It was like
he got hired at Nebraska after that
4 or 5 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, I think he got fired. I don't know what he's doing now. He's probably making a lot of money. Did you see that Detroit Pistons head coach?
No, I didn't see that signing.
This guy got bought out of like a deal. I don't follow the NBA, but he got bought out of a deal for like 40 or 30 or 40 million dollars.
Yeah.
And then he got this deal with the Pistons, which I think was like the biggest contract ever for a coach. And he got bought out for 1 year of that. It's like $60 million or something.
Oh my god!
It's
I wouldn't even coach anymore.
The guy's got paid.
Like, I'm good.
I want to say the guy's gotten paid like $100 million not to coach.
What would the go be with that? Would that be like if he takes a job, like he doesn't? Does he still get all that money?
It's like guaranteed. Yeah, they bought it out. Like they're buying the contract out. They're like, we want you gone now, so here's the money that we owe you, just leave. And he just kind of takes that and collects a check for the next however many years of his contract, or if they give it to him lump sum, but more than likely they're giving it to him just the yearly
Annually.
amount. Yeah. Which is just insane.
I want to say, never mind, I forgot. It's not that important.
I was gonna say that Trevor Lawrence got overpaid, so
Good Lord.
We don't have to worry about the Jacksonville Jaguars anymore, Jackson. Like, we're good for like quite a few more years now. They're just gonna stay last. So
I've never been that enamored with him as a pro quarterback. He's
me neither.
But I remember that playoff game a couple of years ago where he shit the bed in the first half. Didn't he throw like 3 interceptions or 4 interceptions?
Yep.
And then he came back in the second half, and people were like praising him and saying it was great. And I was like, yeah, but it's like Angel Reese has 20 rebounds a game, but 18 of them are from missing her own layups. So,
it's like he put you in that position, and then you guys were like, wow, he got himself out of the hole that he fucking dug himself into. Great job. That's a great quarterback.
Plus his hair bothers me. You got to win a championship before you have long hair like that.
I worry a little bit because I thought he was going to be the guy. Like
I did too. Yeah. I thought he was like an Andrew Luck type prospect, and he wasn't apparently.
Him in college is incredible. Shout out Montante, Clemson. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That New Jersey to Clemson, South Carolina pipeline. That's a weird. What is the fandom there?
In South Carolina,
he just chose Clemson.
I was gonna say it's just like Clemson and then the Gamecocks.
South Carolina,
yeah, and Ritter was like pretty good. I saw a game of Ritter versus it was South Carolina versus Georgia. I saw it live in Athens last year, and he's pretty good. So he might be good for the Saints when they eventually realize that Derek Carr is a shitty quarterback.
You talking about Desmond Ritter?
Yeah, he did good in South Carolina.
For Cincinnati.
Yeah, for Cincinnati. A little. Oh, I'm thinking of Rattler. Sorry, Spencer Rattler.
Oh, yeah.
Spencer Rattler, that weird-looking guy.
Yeah, Ritter, Rattler,
bothers me.
Too similar.
Rattler was going to be in 2018 or 19, I want to say he was like the number one guy.
Well, he was on that fucking Netflix show, and then he was like a little asshole because he was a kid, and like all kids are assholes. That's just like fact. And then he was just shut up and played football. And his last year in South Carolina, Rattler, I saw him play against Georgia, and he did pretty well. And I also saw him lose against Florida, which was awesome. I love that. I could watch that forever. But
I saw speaking of, you said Florida State earlier, they got like the gambling rights in the state of Florida for the next 30 or 50 years or some shit. The Seminoles tribe.
What's that mean exactly?
The state of Florida legalized sports gambling.
Okay.
And they've given all of it, like the only people allowed to do it are the Seminoles tribe. So that's
the actual tribe themselves.
Yeah, so that's like billions of dollars, dude. That's fucking insanity. So, I mean, I guarantee the Florida State will never change its name. I guarantee, hopefully we got that worked into the deal. Like, all right, we're gonna give you like $100 billion over the next however many decades.
Yeah. So, I mean, they bring in so much revenue, and I think it's just kind of like when you're trying to change a team name because of some sort of history like that, the worst place to try to put that on is Florida, because no one gives a fuck in Florida. I lived there for 7 years. It's a fucking madhouse down there. No one cares about nothing.
You a Redskins guy? Facts.
I mean, like, I don't mind the name, and from what I've read, like, people don't really mind the name too much, but the people who went overboard, they're fucking ruining it for everybody else who's just kind of like, it's not that bad. Like the dudes who are like, oh, we're gonna call it the Redskins and we should be able to say everything else too. And it's like, dude, okay, fucking relax. Let's work on one thing before we jump to all this other shit. Like, I don't need that radical shit. Just, it's a football team name. Let's calm down.
The Washington Redskins is one of the greatest, it's one of the classic NFL franchises.
Oh, yeah.
It always blows my mind when you see how many fans they have and how many jerseys they sell and stuff, and how, I mean, they've been horrendous basically my entire life.
Yeah, same, yeah.
But yet the worst thing they did, though, is absolutely destroy that uniform. That they had maybe the best uniform.
I was actually in on the football team, too. The Commanders suck, though. That's the worst.
the team name is what it is, but the uniform is just trash now.
Yeah, it did take a decline because it used to be just that. I like the classic block numbers because like the Colts did
So
the
do I.
same thing where they like tried to add a little flair to their numbers. They have like these little flares at the end of like
Yeah, I don't
a
like
3
it.
or a 2, and I'm like, dude, come on, let's not fucking do that. And their blue is like darker now versus like
It
in the
is?
late '90s. It was this perfect, just bright ass royal blue, and just like seeing Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne in that blue is like a dream come true. I love that blue, and I don't like this darker blue, so I want them to go back too.
Those Brady Manning games in the 2000s were fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's like right around the time where I became a fan since I'm like so fucking young.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you're younger than we are.
Yeah,
I
so
was
like
like 12 when that was going on, so
yeah,
I
like
was on like
well, their Super Bowl year 2007. Yeah, I was 8. So I'm like,
yeah.
that was like my first year watching football, and I asked my dad, I'm like, who do you root for in football? And he said, oh, well, I was born in Illinois, so I root for the Bears. And so then immediately I said to him, I'm like, oh, I was born in Indiana, so I should root for the Colts. And he was like, well, no, no. And I was like, yes, the Colts, got it. And I just
Shut up,
went
Dad.
around my house and I was like, my brothers, I was like, you were born in Minnesota, you're a Vikings fan. Like my sister's like, you're born here in Wisconsin, you're a Packers fan. I just like assigned everyone's teams that day. And then that year the Colts beat the Bears in the Super Bowl, and I was like, football is the greatest fucking sport ever. My team wins. And
I like that
then
you keep order in the house, by the way. 8-year-old facts is just
yeah,
telling everyone
right.
what to do.
Yeah.
I was just running his mouth from day one.
That's
Destined
why
for
I've never
military.
really developed an NFL like fandom or like for a certain team because I just it's either the Bengals or the Browns, I guess. Those are the
Yeah,
closest
I mean,
ones. There's no pro teams in West Virginia. So.
no, but you could.
You have
That's
no-
nice
you-
though.
You don't want to just invest in a team, like just what
It
Yeah,
doesn't
go all in.
feel like I hold like in order to say I'm a fan of something, I have to feel the same way I feel about Marshall, and I've never found like any pro team that I've been that invested in before. So
My team.
I just like the
is
NFL. I love watching the NFL.
Yeah, like the teams that I cheer for are based off of like where I was when I became a fan of that sport, essentially, other than obviously the Colts because of that scenario. But like I lived in Wisconsin, and when I was growing up there, I started loosely following. I followed baseball a lot, so I became a Brewers fan, and then I was loosely following basketball, so I was like, all right, the Bucks. And then I got into college football when I moved down to Florida, and my wife's family is huge, or like they're all huge Gators fans. Like Tim Tebow is like a deity to them, all that shit. Like, so then when I started watching college sports, which is really only the last few years, that's when I was like, all right, let's just go Gators. And then like God was like, here you go, facts. We're gonna give you Anthony Richardson from the Florida Gators and put him on the Colts. And I was like, this is fucking great. Just
Did
get
you
a
watch all
cheer.
those games?
Yeah, I watched his year. That was like when I was starting to watch it more closely. Was really like
22.
his like year where he was the no shit starter, like right after Trask left, and then I watched this past year a lot more closely with Graham Mertz, who wasn't that bad. Everyone fucking hates him, but like he didn't do bad. He just wasn't like he wasn't competing with everyone else in the SEC. That was just like his biggest thing. He just wasn't good enough to beat the big boys like Georgia and Alabama. And then we got fucking stomped by LSU. That was a real rough one. I was just like, oh God. But yeah, that's how I base my fandoms.
I'm afraid we're not going to have a quarterback this year. It's looking like Cole Pennington's going to be the starter again. And I hate to say it, but I don't know if he's it. It's tough because he's Pennington's kid. But,
I don't know. I was going to say, you got the jersey behind you and everything.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm a little nervous. Then we've got this kid, Braylon Braxton, transfer from Tulsa. So we'll see. He did not have a great spring, but he might be better. We'll see. We'll see. We've been signing all these high school kids this week because I think it's a signing period right now. They moved everything around. But like they're all going to be seniors in high school this year. That's a lot of time between now and then to flip your commitment. So I'm not going to get too excited until they're actually on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine being like an Australian and be like, I'm going to choose a team to root for and choosing the fucking Texans.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's what happens when you shuffle on Madden.
Oh my
Just
God.
a loser franchise.
I know it hurt my heart a little
It's
bit.
coming.
I was like,
They got
Jackson's so cool, and then I was like, is that a goddamn Texans flag behind him?
Yeah, they got that stupid stadium with the retractable field that blows everybody.
It's a great stadium. Come on.
Suck.
And I was so mad when
Texans
CJ Stroud was good. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, why are they? Because like they had Deshaun Watson, and then like he stopped getting massaged every day, and then he was bad, so they traded him, and then they got CJ Stroud, and he was killer for him. So it's just like, come on, like, can we just get a little bit of a break? Because we didn't get that transition. We got Andrew Luck, and then he took my heart, ripped it out of me, and stomped on it. And then
that was crazy when he retired.
We're not going to sit here and listen to a Colts fan bitch about quarterbacks. It's not like stop. Like a Packers fan bitching about quarterbacks.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Jesus.
Fair enough.
Who did they have before Manning though? I mean, weren't they just terrible for a long time?
I mean, it was just like Jeff George. Jeff George
in there.
Jim Harbaugh for like a year or two. And then like I just remember like the most notable obviously was Johnny Unitas, but that was back in Baltimore when they were in Baltimore.
Curtis Painter there?
Yeah. Oh my God. He was
that. I don't remember.
He was always just like sitting behind. I think in the year
Painter
that Manning had the neck surgery, 2011, he started before they drafted Luck. I'm pretty sure Painter started.
Yep.
Yeah. So
what else we got going on, boys? We need at least one more topic.
Well, you were on Mike and the Minifans yesterday, and you were getting completely bodied by everyone. I don't know if you...
Is that how you interpreted that?
Vodka just stomped on you.
I don't think Vodka was really even giving me any shit.
He was, and he was correct. He carried that show.
Okay.
Like when I saw the panel start, I was like, oh no, fucking, this is gonna be a disaster.
I didn't know the King was gonna be on. Like I'm sitting there, it's me and Phil, and Phil's like a super nice guy.
Yeah, I love Phil.
And Phil thinks it's just gonna be me and him on the show, and I'm like, oh fuck, this might not be good because I didn't prepare it well. And then I had been thinking I was just gonna. Well, never mind. But then Kane pops on. I'm like, oh great, Kane. I will give Kane credit though. He stinks, but he keeps coming back at it. So just put him down. I think it'd be great if you had him on every time he came on. We had like a around the horn type mute button for him, and like John or whoever's producing can hit that, and then like the graphic pops up and we can see him talking, but then we can see he's like muted for 30 seconds.
That would be fun.
He doesn't shut up. He talked for 70% of the show, probably.
He's good.
Well, he says the same things over and over again too. But yeah, no, he's really good though. I like him.
You're fucking such a liar.
Kane,
do you watch 3 Up 3 Down or what?
Huh?
Do you watch 3 Up 3 Down?
I check in every once in a while. Mostly like when you message me and go, you should watch 3 Up 3 Down. So I'll load it up and check it. But I'll watch this one coming up. The Fax is gonna be on. I watched PRC on there too. I like PRC.
Oh yeah.
Have you got a sneak peek? Can you give us a little hint, Fax?
Oh, man, I was just thinking about it actually. I was like, man, maybe I should give myself one of my downs. I should be like, yo, Fax is fucking down. Worst Minifan, number 1. Worst Minifan. I'm like, this guy needs to get his shit together. And then also earlier in the week, like there have been very like shitty attempts at like hit pieces on me. Like Sneaks put up like my show that I do with my buddy, and he was like, oh, he's in the Minifan Network and he has the show. What a coincidence. And I was like, yeah, I publicly post it every week. Like that's like, yeah, it's not a secret, buddy. And then Manners was like, what did you mean by this? When I was like saying that like people who hate are just gonna stay where they're at as I continue to grow. And I just told them, I was like, push it to the narrative that fits your story best, buddy. Because like that's what I mean. Sure, like you run it how you want to run it. And then he was like, we should talk about this on Minifandom. And I was like, sure. And then he just said nothing. Didn't do a show last night. He's just been completely absent. So
he was watching cricket yesterday when we were doing Mike and the Minifans.
Yeah. And I mean,
USA.
Hey, the best ability is availability. and I've been
That's
there.
true.
Everyone else is busy. I'm down to jump on and shoot the shit. So that's why people are getting to know like the group of people that they're getting to know now, is because we're the ones who are like, yeah, I like this show a lot. This is a great show, and I like the people who are involved with it. So I'm more than down to jump on. It's all it is. Like they try
So
to
you're
make it
saying
so
that-
much more complicated.
You're saying that Menace is not committed to KMS?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying,
I agree.
like,
He's not.
if you're gonna
Absolutely.
state something, or if you're gonna tell me something, like, be about it. You know, the fucking facts. 99%. He's just like, we should discuss this, because I'm assuming he wanted to put me on so we could try to, like, I guess his version of bury me. But it's just like, all right, now you didn't do anything, man. Like, are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do the thing where you like try to bury me, or you try to like expose me as like a fake or something? But nothing happened. So I'm down to do it,
His heart's
because
not in it.
yeah, and
It
the
does
thing
make
is
me
too,
laugh. It
I
does
like
make me laugh
Manners.
when he does those though, because he'll just like he just has the guy on and he goes, "All right, now go."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "What am I supposed to do?" He's like, "Go ahead, perform."
There has been some famous stinker episodes on that show.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
and that's the thing though. Like, I like Manners because he's fucking funny. When he just comes in, he'll just jump in randomly and then just start like toasting everybody in a line, and it's fucking funny. And then he'll just be like, "Oh, Timothy Vex on here. He's a fucking bore," and I'm like, "Yeah, he's kind of, maybe."
Yeah, whatever. His network is dying. It's honestly, Kirk should just put it out of its misery. But it's all right. I like that the little guy gets his network, and Kane gets to have a show on there.
He sent McFuss Daddy to the mental hospital as well, so that's kind of sad.
Yeah,
I
think
Fuss
Kane
Daddy
might
should
have
come back
something
over
to do
here.
with that.
Yeah.
Now, Kane assured me though that Fuss loves him. So
maybe, I don't know. I mean,
Fuss doesn't like me.
We'll see who's on tomorrow. Yeah, it's just, well, I think people just kind of take like a base perception and they're like, this is what it is right here. You know, this person, Luke, because of what I've seen on the show, he's a piece of shit, and I'm just gonna run with that forever. And it's kind of like,
it's no different.
That's not untrue.
Perceive me in public and in interactions every day. So that it's par for the course. I'm not surprised by it. Some people when they walk in a room, you know, everybody's kind of like, oh, and I'm one of those people.
I think that's the smell.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like,
dude, I reek like chlorine right now. My skin might fall off. I don't know. Like, there was probably way too much chlorine in the stupid pool. So,
Luke, can I tell you a fun fact?
Sure.
You know, Fax is a big Chaps guy.
Oh.
No.
Full of valor.
No.
You know, Chaps hates the police, right?
I mean, hey, I'm not gonna.
You're aware that he and his wife choked out a cop on the 4th of July, I want to say. Got arrested for like disorderly conduct.
Yeah, I remember that happening. I wouldn't go as far to say that like I hate him, but I definitely know what kind of guy he is. You know, because Jackson, the reason he brought that up is because from December of last year to roughly middle of April, I was actually working for him and Zero Block 30 because yeah. So basically how that goes, it's a pretty simple, basic story. There's not as much substance as I'm sure people might want, but essentially how it went was I was like in November and the army lets people like go off and intern for somebody and they'll pay for you to go intern for somebody. And I was like, if I could work anywhere, where would it be? And I was like, well, Barstool, I like PMT. And I've heard clips.
It's a massive waste of taxpayer money, but go ahead.
Yeah, right. And
paying some Fax can intern at Barstool.
Right. And then just become like a media personality. But hey, you know,
I get it if
they're
like, yeah, he wants to work at IBM and they get you in over there. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No,
if they had me working at IBM, that would be more of a waste of taxpayer money. I'd just be sitting there with a thumb up my ass. But yeah,
what did you do for Chaps? Did Chaps like send you like harassing text messages like I've heard he does to other people that are below him in the chain of command?
So you make a very good point, right? right there with like the whole below the chain of command. He never really sent harassing text messages to me. He was just extremely like, why are you talking to me? And then I was like, dude, you're the one who DM me and asked me if I wanted to do the social clips because I was talking to Eddie, Chief, and Stephen Che at a bar in Athens, Georgia, and Stephen Che had said, "Oh, you should reach out to Zero Blog 30, the military podcast. They're looking for somebody." So I was like, "Oh, sure, why not? I'm in the military. That makes sense." And so I did, and Chaps reached back out, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, you can do this and this for me." And I was like, "For sure, let's do it." And for me, the entire time that I was working for them, with which I will preface, like I'm gonna preface by saying, Cons and Kate, wonderful people. I will defend them forever. Like Cons and Kate are genuinely just wonderful people. If you think different, you're just straight up fucking wrong, and that's what it is. But Chaps, he wanted me to do all this work for him, so I would make the templates, I would help him make thumbnails. I was just essentially doing all this just for free, just to get my name in the hat. And I would ask him, "Hey, what type of stuff do you want?" Or, "Hey, do you think this is going to be good?" And he just straight up wouldn't respond, or it would just be like these 3-word responses that didn't give me any insight. And I did a lot. I like made a whole Dropbox folder where I made templates that they could use. I offered to like edit their show. Because I wanted to show like, hey, look, dude, I have like actual value and I don't have fake value. And I just got nothing from him. And then one time I was like, dude, can we talk? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, I'm trying to do all this stuff. I'm trying to figure out what you guys want. And then you're saying like, I need to meet these timelines at like, hey, get me this by 8 a.m. And then I'm like working because I have to go to like PT and it doesn't get to you by 8 a.m. And you're upset, but then you don't upload the episode until like the next day at 8 p.m. And so he was just like, he just had a very like off-putting attitude, and then he just like ghosted me, and then he must have like moved the chats because like all of a sudden like I would text in the group and then I would just stop getting responses from them just like randomly. And it's the big thing for me isn't that I stopped working for them, because if they would have said, like if Chaps would have said, hey, this isn't working out, like I just don't think you're a fit, sorry, that's fine. I don't care if you tell me basically to fuck off, that is okay. But
right,
the fact
he just ghosted you.
that you can't be man enough to be like, hey man, this isn't working out, like the fact that you just go away and hide, and then also you treat me like I'm just like lower than you because I'm not a Barstool employee, it's just kind of like, it's just shitty attitude.
It's a real disrespectful way to treat an active military person.
I mean, it's just like
personnel.
Like I don't care, because I did a lot of shit during the time where I had all that time on my hands because I was on like parental leave. So I would do a lot of things to try to make the Barstool thing happen, because I'm like, well, if I don't do anything, nothing's gonna happen. So let me try. So I would go to like events. I would go to these little meetups. If they were in the area, I would just like drive out there and just talk shit with some of the guys. And if I say something to you and I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm trying to work on this thing, and they're like, all right, like give this to me, I'm more than happy. I'll do it. But if you're not going to actually look at it and give me your input after you say you are, it's just like, then just tell me to fuck off, dude. Just like, I'd rather you do that. Like, hey, do you want to look at my blog? And if they were like, no, fuck you, I would be like, okay, word. And then I move on with my life. But don't give me the fucking hope or expectation.
I'm not shocked to hear that Chaps is a cunt.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I kind of like back people like Will and Taylor, because they're such good dudes, and like their producer JP is a fucking awesome guy. Like I genuinely love those guys. They're so nice. They're so fucking welcoming. And we're sitting there at the bar, and I'm just like sitting there talking to JP, I think, and then all of a sudden I see like a hand like right next to my face, and I just turn, and it's Taylor with this huge ass smile on his face with the twisted T, just like.
Oh, that's cool.
And he just like hands it to me because he wants me to drink. And I'm like, dude, just like shit like that. Like they're like no shit. Like actually the boys, that's not fake. That's good. And so I love those guys. And then
he's a big boy too. He's literally a foot taller than you, right?
Oh my god, he's fucking huge.
Yeah,
I have a picture of me and him and Will, and it's just like seeing him next to me is just like towering.
Did you put your name in the hat for that job with them at all? that Gus was going for?
Oh, no, because I can't really do anything. So like the only thing is with this like internship thing, it has to be within the last 6 months of your contract. So I can't just like leave. So I need to wait until December to June. And so and then like because of that 0 block 30 shit, my whole approach has kind of changed, and like my whole mentality on who I would want to work with and where I'd want to go with has changed as well.
Yeah.
So like I realized that I probably don't actually want to be in Chicago, even though it looks so cool and it looked really fun. I was like consuming it more, and I was like, I don't think I would fit like well in Chicago because they seem to be very like buddy buddy, and I can be like nice and fun, but like also I feel like when conflict arises and I'm like, this is fucking stupid, I feel like it would just get uncomfortable and weird. So I'm like, no. So ideally, if I were to do anything, it would be like I would want to go to Nashville and just be like not even on camera or nothing with them. I would just want to be like building their sets and just like learning how the process works so I could help my own content, or I would do it for someone, like Kirk, who's awesome because one is like his opinion, and he doesn't give a fuck if someone likes it or hates it. And that's where I like respect him. And especially with the Chaps thing, now that we're both on the same page of that, where I like figured out what had happened with him and Chaps in the future. Unfortunately, after I'd already been working for him,
Right.
but I figured that out, and I was like, oh wow, that perfectly aligns. So I'm like, Kirk might just be like a really good judge of character that I didn't expect. I don't know. And then I was like, wow, okay. So my loyalty is to like, yeah, the boys down in Nashville and to Kirk because they're like actual genuine people at the end of the day. I don't like the fake shit. Don't be
I
fake.
agree. What was I about to say? It's just like literally in my mind, then out of my mind. A few years ago, it was really funny. Chaps, they were doing like 2016 election stuff, I want to say, and Kat Timp was working for Barstool at the time. I don't know if you guys know who she is. She's a cute little blonde girl. She used to be on like Fox News late at night. She's a libertarian. But anyway, Chaps was like wasted, and they're on a live stream like watching it was a debate maybe or something, and Chaps is just giving her like tons of shit, like just fucking with her and like flirting with her, but like also it just looks like literally like kind of like I'm trying to remember exactly what kind of stuff he was doing, but anyway, his wife ends up texting him, Chaps, while he's doing this, because she's like, dude, you're making an ass out of yourself. So he like leaves and goes and lays down on like a dog bed or something in like another part of the old New York studio. It was fucking hilarious. That was awesome. That was my favorite.
Back in 2016.
I think so.
That's a while ago. Shit. I think 2016, yeah, the only show I was listening to as part of my take, because I just happened to, my buddy recommended it to me, and it had just started,
Mm-hmm.
And for the most time of like being a Barstool fan, it's been like part of my take. And then I only started listening to Bussin' with the Boys when I met them in South Carolina, because I knew who they were, obviously, because they're on the internet and their clips are, but I didn't really listen. And then when I met JP, I didn't know he was the producer. I was just like, what's up, dude? I was meeting him at the concert shooting the shit. And I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I'm actually a producer for one of the guys here. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, who do you produce for? And he's like, oh, Taylor and Will. And he's like, you should check out our show, Slips and Picks. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll look at it. And then I started like listening to podcasts from there. So that's actually where that started. And then ZBT, like, I had no clue about the fucking lore or nothing. I just listened to clips of them from like 2020 because like I'm in the military. So I'm just like, oh, Barstool has military stuff. This might be relevant to me. And honestly, like I didn't think anything of them. But yeah, Cons and Kate, awesome people. Chaps, I don't like. And I mean, you don't know. He has like, I have no problem telling him that now. But before, I was afraid to say anything that would be controversial or like that would go against what he's saying, because he's like he has that job hanging over my head,
Right.
And he knew that. And so he would be like, so if I said anything that would be like disagreeing with him or anything like that, I knew he would probably be like, all right, we're done. So I was always on thin ice, and I was always so nervous to like say anything, and I was so anxious anytime I did anything, and just like having that like off of me now.
Right.
I'm like looking back, I'm like, oh God, why was I such like a pussy back then? Why didn't I just say how I felt? Like it would have been so much easier.
I think he dodged a bullet anyway. Allegedly, he likes to make requests of the interns. So obviously you dodged that. But honestly, I think that's a pretty good place to end things for this episode. We really appreciate you coming on, Fax. And I just want to say fuck Chaps. Jackson, do you have any final thoughts?
First show without a police siren from you.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Every show.
You guys probably can't hear it. My neighbor in the apartment behind me is blasting this, like he's got a big speaker thing, and he's blasting music. But
well, I appreciate you guys having me on. Yeah, thanks for letting me talk too much. It was fun hanging with you boys, though. I love doing it.
No, it's great. I'm gonna try to get Chaps on, and we'll see if we can get both of you on together. I'm gonna start working on that immediately.
We're gonna air out grievances.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
All right, everybody, wave to the camera.
All right, goodbye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye,
See you
guys.
later.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
It's tough because we can't see John.
I think we're just gonna have to leave. He'll just keep recording.
All right, guys. See you later.
All right.
All right, boys. Peace.
Bye.